Good afternoon, entrepreneurs. My name is Jess Loren with Brandless Group of Social Tech Pop. I am here today in the kitchen of Ashley Pettit. Now, she does so many amazing things. I just want her to jump right in.
All right, okay. A lot of pressure there. No. So essentially, I've been in the wellness industry, which is fitness and nutrition focused, for the last 10 years. And I worked one-on-one with clients of all different backgrounds, all different needs and goals through personal training and food analysis and things like that. Okay. I've been in the corporate environment, I've been working on my own, and all of a sudden, after so many years in the industry, I said, I need to do my own business. So Ashley Pettit Living blossomed in 2012. And as any entrepreneur knows, you all know this, is that any business is started because there is a problem that needs to be solved. And you have the confidence that you can solve it to the best of your ability and better than anybody else. Yeah. So how I did that was developing a concierge service. Because at the end of the day, my clients were never just an hour in the gym or an hour in their kitchen. It was 24/7 need of access to me. They needed to text me. They needed to have, tell me what they should eat at a restaurant that they're going out to because they're confused. And the thing about nutrition and fitness...
Your clients are texting you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, text, email. I literally feel like I am attached to my device, and I'm sure you all feel like that.
Sorry, yes.
But really, the need is there. But I have to tell people that the need is there for me to be there for them all the time and to feel approachable to 24/7. Because if they make a bad choice, it's a setback. So I need to eradicate those bad choices by being accessible to them. And so concierge, which is an amazing word for nutrition and fitness, because essentially I am guiding them personally through their life through my services.
Great.
And no client is the same. That's the other thing. I think nutrition and fitness is so focused on a volume deal and the same plan for everybody. So I also check that.
Awesome. We've got 3 million entrepreneurs here on the network, and they all want to know, how do you start your day? You're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a wife, got all these crazy things going on. How do you get going?
I honestly get going through having like one of the best energetic meals possible in the morning. So food is your fuel. That's how I always tell people to put it in perspective.
Food is your fuel.
Yes, it's also medicine, it also helps your beauty, it helps a lot of things, but food is there to, satisfy some cravings and what you might want, but the old adage, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, is so true, and it's one of those things I've always stuck by, but I think people choose heavy breakfasts, or they choose too carbohydrate-centric breakfasts, so having a piece of toast is not going to keep you satiated until lunch. So I make breakfast incredibly important with my family. And yes, I have a 2-year-old. And yes, I have a husband. And yes, I have clients who are already emailing me at 6 a.m.
What should I eat today, Ashley?
Right,
tell me.
Right, but I still manage to get it done because I make it a priority.
Okay.
So everybody else, but I also have solutions to those problems. So with my clients, especially entrepreneurs, CEOs, people who are constantly traveling are really good clients for me. Analysts, I have an author as a client who's on book tours all the time. I make meals tasty but convenient.
Okay. So give us some examples of these great breakfasts that you have that, other entrepreneurs can use your tips to start their morning.
Smoothies are literally the cure-all for anybody's problem. And one of the things that I talk about in my meal prep stuff for my online membership community, which is different from the concierge, we'll get there, is you can make a smoothie ahead of time for 3 or 4 days and freeze it.
Oh, and freeze it. All right.
So it doesn't mean you have to pop in and use a blender every single day. Honestly, I know some people don't even
have a blender is so hard to clean. Or sometimes you just throw it in the dishwasher, but
so true.
Who wants to do that?
But people's issue too is like, sometimes people look at me and they go, "Are you kidding? Someone doesn't have 5 minutes?" Honestly, I believe it because there are times where I don't have 5 minutes. Maybe that's 5 extra minutes you could spend in the gym. So it's all about trade-offs. But yes, breakfast. I do love smoothies.
Okay.
I love things that are just super convenient. So I am obsessed with breakfast burritos that are healthy.
So tell me what's in this burrito. It's not Chipotle style.
I didn't make it.
What's the Ashley burrito?
Sweet Earth has these burritos that are actually plant-based burritos that they're called Get Focused. They literally have ingredients in them that not only fill you up.
So the burrito has a branding called Get Focused.
Yes.
So tell me how is this?
So it's plant-based, but it's super fiber-filled, so it's filling. It's going to last you until lunch.
Okay.
A lot of things that I find with my clients that are very busy, and even with myself, is not only do I not really want to have to snack, I don't have time to snack, much less have things on hand all the time.
So it's interesting. You're not a proponent of snacking. You're just a proponent of saying, let's get a fuller meal 3 times a day?
Yep.
Or how many times a
week? 3
week?
times a day. You know, if you have to have a snack, sure, that's fine. But whenever I have snacks, I make them raw. I make raw vegetables,
Okay.
or I have something that's very, very convenient. You know, vegetables and hummus, things like that. But no, it's having filling meals that are super important. So I want them to be things that where you don't feel hungry after you leave your meal, but you also can stave off for 4 to 5 hours until you have your next meal. So again, fiber is very important. But at breakfast, you know, also don't keep it boring. I think that's a big thing. You know, breakfast is redundant for a lot of people.
Right. No, exactly. And I think what's interesting you said about making the smoothies for the week, you can make different flavors all at once, and then you're satisfied. So we've covered breakfast. We said smoothies. We said get focused burritos. Yep. What's the company again? So they know.
Sweet Earth.
Sweet Earth burritos. Let's talk about lunch.
Okay, so my thing with lunch is a lot of people get really into supposedly healthy things. So especially with entrepreneurs, even with myself, lunch meetings are a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Food is ordered for you. And a lot of times you also don't have the time to bring in lunch yourself.
You walk into that conference room and you've got these crazy spreads and the cookie trays usually like this tall. So what are your recommendations as far as lunch?
So I go by a method that I say, you know, volumize your plate with vegetables as much as possible.
Let's say that again, volumize your plate with vegetables.
Yes, so the plate method, when you're eating out and you don't have someone like me as your concierge to tell you what to order or what to choose while you're there, is going by the plate method. So half your plate should always be vegetables. Raw is preferable, not a lot of oil, butter, etc. You know, the most obvious things. And then a quarter of it should be lean protein choices. When you're going with things that are, you know, deli meat, I always say if you can stave off choosing, you know, the heavier and fat meats like ham and roast beef, and you go for like a turkey or a chicken, it's very beneficial. And then you also want to have a quarter of a high fiber starch. So you don't want to go with a lot of whites. You don't want to go with the potato chips that they have in the bags coming in with your sub sandwiches. And if you don't have a healthy starch there, just add more vegetables. You'll stay full. It literally, as vegetables are, especially raw, are going to fill you up.
Okay. Yeah. So with lunch, stick to your turkey, your chicken, and your veggies. Lots and lots of veggies. So we've got lunch covered, we've got breakfast covered.
Yep.
Let's move on to dinner.
So paleo's a trend, right? And I don't really buy into trends. It's a trend, and I'm not one of those. Diet to me is a 4-letter word. I preach to my clients, you know, live in the moment, live realistically, make simple but tasty choices.
Simple but tasty choices.
Yes, and that's my entire brand is basically that. But I'm that way in my kitchen. So my biggest thing for people is I stay with, you know, I go paleo in the PM. So I don't have
paleo in the PM.
It is one of my most like known for phrases. But that's because I don't do heavy starches at night. I don't do any starching. I do a vegetable and a protein, and I have, you know, some added fat. Sometimes it always comes in the form of sauces or dressings, but I also, you know, put avocado. I fortify my dinners with texture and with, you know, just high flavor profile. So like an example of one of my favorite dinners is chicken curry with steamed broccoli. And I put the chicken on top of the broccoli, so the broccoli's not boring. It's just steamed broccoli, but when you mix it all together, it's super filling, it's fantastic, but I don't have starches that build up and store, because a lot of people go to bed right after they eat.
Yeah, and they're full and it's just sitting there.
And that gets stored as fat. And none of us want that, because that means more time, again, in the gym that we don't have. So that's one of my things. So yeah, paleo in the PM, but really it's just making the smartest choices you can all day, not over snacking. If you're out for a meal and you can't go by the plate method and you don't have any choice, I go by the percentage. So I eat 50% of what's in front of me and then I push it away.
Okay, so you know, there's always that saying of you can have half your meal sent away to take away. Is that something you do? Or?
Yeah, and I'm such, waste is abhorrent to me, so I'll always have leftovers wrapped up, whether it be for my very lucky babysitters who are watching my daughter, or it be for myself for the next day for lunch, or, you know, in one of the things, and this is going to sound really random, but sometimes I will have them wrapped up and I'll put them on top of a trash can and
great.
home, because the homeless person may benefit from
Yeah,
it.
so similar to what, you know, you have a child, there's plenty of entrepreneurs out there who are busy running their businesses and also want to keep their family healthy. So any tips on keeping the family healthy as well as themselves, and maintaining this work-life balance that we all are, you know, teeter-tottering on every day?
Yes, I think for the most part, we put a lot of pressure and guilt on ourselves, especially as parents and as business owners. Your businesses are probably your babies.
True.
Just like mine was mine until I had my real baby. But for me, it's one, finding balance and forgiving yourself. So having convenient go-to choices.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, is to forgive yourself. I think so many, like you're saying, so many people do put so much pressure on themselves. So forgive yourself and just know your family's there for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's face it, I'm a holistic nutritionist. I believe in making things from scratch and buying organic produce and being the best, making everything all the time in the kitchen. I can't do that. I had a child. Yes, I made my own baby food, but sometimes I had to buy the baby food in a can. You have to be able to forgive yourself. Again, balance. If you're trying to be perfect in every aspect of your life, you're gonna get sick. You're not well anymore. So it's finding that balance. It's also forgiveness, but it is also knowing that there are a ton of healthy, quick options out there. And that's where someone like me, a professional in your life, can spend the first 30 days as a concierge teaching you what fits into your life.
Interesting. So a great question that we like to ask at Entrepreneur is, why do you do what you do? So you have all these things going on. What brings you to this field, and why do you do it?
If there was anything I was taught at a young age, is having a parent who was very successful in the business world, but also had to find balance, and just growing up with entrepreneurial spirit, is I fully believe...
We all have that spirit.
I hope so. And that spirit is bred from passion, and I think enjoyment. So essentially, I actually love to write. So I have a degree in journalism.
Oh, okay.
And then when I graduated from school and I got into the real world and figured out, having been a competitive runner in my past and really focused on food, I didn't realize how much I was investing in my health on a daily basis, but how much I enjoyed. Any book I read was about healthy living. And so I took that and I figured out...
any books you would recommend to the
anything. The China Study was one of the books that changed my life. T. Colin Campbell.
Changed your life.
Changed my life.
That's a big statement.
It's a profound
statement.
statement.
What is this book that's changing Ashley Pettit's life?
I think it just analyzes nutrition and food from an evolutionary perspective, and it investigates other countries, which I think some of us don't really recognize, that we do eat differently everywhere we live across the globe, and there are things to learn from the way other people eat in other countries, but it really was just a perspective and the amount of research put into the book. It's not a gimmick, it's not a trend, it's not a fad, which I'm fad-free forever, that is one of my phrases too. It's a very realistic way of living with a lot of research backing it up. And I started to adjust because I got diagnosed with food allergies. I have an intestinal disorder, my digestion was very messed up, and I'm really big into fitness. So I woke up one day and I said, I'm going to use my journalism degree, I'm going to go back to grad school, and I am going to get into the nutrition and fitness industry. And I think everybody has that ingrained in them. Whatever you do for a living, if you're really passionate about it and you're willing to start up your own business, it has to do with something that clearly you love so much, beyond just wanting to financially walk away.
Yeah, you have to have a passion to keep it going.
I think
You've been in business about 4 years now. Talking more about the tips of how you've gotten your business going, what would you say, everyone's talking about social media and how important it is, and it's kind of replaced PR almost in a sense. What is the most successful thing that you've done with your business in using social media tools, and specifically which tools and then which have been most successful for you?
I spend a lot of time in my kitchen, so I think pictures.
Right.
I think pictures of my food, of my way of life, documenting myself going through the healthy living journey, allows people to identify with me, but also get examples and see. So I think Instagram has always been kind of my best.
And talk about that journey.
So having food allergies, you really have to pay attention to what you eat. And mine, some of my food allergies are actually life-threatening. So for me, finding out I was allergic to nuts was kind of traumatic because I was 23 years old and my throat closed up. But I had to adjust. And I was just, it's learning. And with social media, I think, again, one of the words that I throw out there a lot is evolving. Because now there's Snapchat. And then there's Facebook. And now there's Facebook Live, which we love. That before that there was Periscope. And there's just so many platforms. And for me, it's important that I'm on the platform the most and putting my most effort into the platform where people are the most interactive with me.
So you really feel that people are more interested in following the entrepreneur themselves, maybe than their business, so learning more about their journey through their business. Would you say that has been successful for you?
For me, personalizing the experience, yeah. I mean, and even just like people to identify with the fact that I'm incredibly honest. I talk about the fact that I had French fries at dinner the other night. I'm real. I talk about my cupcake obsession when I was pregnant. You know, on days...
Cupcake obsession when you were pregnant.
Yeah, and I mean on days when I'm, you know, not in the media, not doing stuff, I'll do, you know, sweaty selfies from the gym. But yeah, no, it's important that people see that I live it.
Know, what time of day were you sending out your husband to go get these cupcakes?
Yeah, there really was no specific time. It was kind of like an around-the-clock duty that he had. So
Cupcakes
yes.
when you come home, honey.
Warning, because I do not have a sweet tooth when I'm not pregnant. It literally was the most shocking, you know, craving. And they say that you crave things that you deny yourself. So yeah, red meat and cupcakes. You guessed it. But no, I mean, for me too, it is personalizing the experience. I do get a lot of likes for my daughter. You know, on Instagram and sharing that part of my life. If every single picture looks perfect, is a perfect meal, is, you know, a perfect me with my hair done and stuff like that, it's just not the honest way of presenting yourself. So I think people really value that. And again, Instagram is one of my bigger.
So Instagram is your favorite. Any other tools?
I snap, and my frequency of snapping is really unreliable, but when I snap. Like, I'll snap me dancing in the kitchen, cooking meals. And I will snap, you know, my kid, or I'll snap my Starbucks and admit that I'm dragging butt, which happens a lot. I snap my workouts, I snap my trainer, I snap my whole life, which is very fun. But yeah, my Facebook page, I think, is a big thing, my business page, because I do my own Facebook Live. I like to put my face out there, not just being like on TV, but actually being on my platform, which is really fun. I do respond to all Twitter love. Twitter's a little bit on the back end for me. I do like people's interaction, and I do try to retweet things and favorite things. But no, you know, I think my Facebook Live, my Facebook business page and live segments, and my Instagram are like my two favorites. But I really dig Snap. I don't know what it is.
Snapchat. What's your favorite filter?
I don't even have. Oh, I love to fast pace myself.
Oh, the fast pace.
It's like I'm doing stuff, or I did a really good workout one day and I slow-moed myself doing a dance, congratulating myself. Which again, you know, I looked silly, but I do that. I literally dance in the mirror to myself and high-five myself. It's something I do. Self-motivation, it's out there, guys. But no, the importance of social media and wellness and health is so strong. I cannot stress enough. For my clients, I developed this online community on top of my concierge service, which is face-to-face. My online community is because you need to be there to support other people who are going through the same transition you are, the journey, and I'm on that. So if they're talking to each other and I can see that, not only does it melt my heart and make me so happy, but I can jump in and make comments for them too, and congratulate them, and post their stories. So no, I think interaction, as far as like making daily goals of living healthy, it provides accountability that people desperately need.
Great. So we talked a lot about, you know, food, meals. Let's talk about fitness.
Okay.
So you're not only a nutrition expert, but you're also a fitness expert.
Yes.
So any tips or tricks for the busy entrepreneur out there to, you know, get in a quick workout if they're traveling or if they're at the gym, or, you know, wherever they are, how to get those?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me the number one thing for entrepreneurs is you're going off of the schedule, right? You have meetings scheduled, you have things scheduled. Why not schedule your meal or your workout?
Put it in the schedule, people.
I have alerts, and not just when I have to go somewhere. I literally have, like, after we are done here, it's like, Ashley, get your butt on the treadmill. Alert. And I make funny alerts and alarms. And I think that's the thing. One thing I do is a lot of people aren't self-motivated again. So commit to working with someone, so a trainer, or going to a group class and signing up for those classes. Usually you have to sign up a week ahead of time for a lot of things.
So having accountability.
Commit, and know that you have to show up for yourself. But the more healthy you are, it's outside of the kitchen too. You have to be in the gym. You have to find balance with your fitness regimen too. You can't just do cardio. You can't just do strength. You have to do a combination of both. But getting yourself to be accountable by scheduling it, by signing up for things, by hiring me as your concierge to text you and stalk you and remind you that you have to sweat today.
Look at that, people. Entrepreneur self-promo over here.
Very true. But I think having that accountability, but also at the same time recognizing that fitness doesn't mean that you need to be in the gym an hour and a half a day, but doing it with somebody else too. I find that when I was in corporate wellness, one of the best movements I saw was having a healthy living culture in your entire business, not just the person who is running it, but also because the healthier you are, the more productive you are.
Interesting.
Your business is better when you are living a healthy life.
At your best.
I can attest to that, honestly, because before I started my own company, I was in fitness and nutrition, working for other people, and let's just say it's really difficult to practice what you preach when it's not supported in your corporate environment.
Now, I don't want to Ashley prepared some food for us to take a look at, and I don't know if there's any questions on the network. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to send them our way. But she's going to show us a few things that she has in her kitchen that she uses to snack and to go out throughout her day.
I'm a booster, so everybody has.
What's a booster?
I'm a booster, so I boost my food a lot. So not all the time. I talked about meals that were fortifying. So in the morning, you want to have protein, but who wants to eat sausage and eggs in the morning? So I put my.
I want to eat sausage and eggs in the morning.
I'm just kidding. There's a way to do that right, but we also don't have time to make those things. So I buy things that are quick. So this is a superfood cereal.
Okay.
It's really filling. You literally just add milk. Sometimes I heat it up if I want to.
Is it like oatmeal?
It's cereal. You don't have to heat it up.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll heat it up if I want to change it up. In the winter you want like a warm breakfast. But this is great for people on the go because it's prepackaged. You can look at the nutrition label. It's just in one thing. You don't have to pour it out. You can take it on the go with a spoon.
The serving size is already created. We know how many calories we're getting.
And then I fortify. So, I add superfoods like goji berries, which have vitamin C, so you're boosting your immune system, which we need, because if you're working, like most entrepreneurs do, many hours a day.
So superfood.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And golden berries are just a different profile, like a goji berry. Okay, so these are Incan.
It's a sweet, tangy, sun-dried superfruit snack.
Again, lots of vitamin C, lots of vitamin A. It's really, really good because it adds even more fiber to your meals. So again, fiber. And
golden berries.
I add protein to a lot of my breakfasts because I want something that's easily digestible. The last thing you want to have is a heavy breakfast so you feel like you're dragging all day. So instead of having, like I said, like the bacon and the sausage and things like that, you add in a vegetable base. So Vega is one of my favorites because it's plant-based protein.
So adding this to the smoothies we talked about?
Yeah, smoothies. Even I add it to my cereal bowl. I add it to my oatmeal.
Oh,
I make pancakes with this, and I freeze them, so I have protein pancakes for the entire week. All these recipes are on AshleyPettitLiving.com, so I know I'm saying a lot of information right now. And then I have random things, like we talked about snacking, but like having something that's just very quick grab is easier to do than having things always in your office, because even if you have snacks in your snack break room, like healthy things at your office, you're not always going to get up and actually go get them.
Right.
So I have these in my purse. They're bananas, but it's no sugar added dried fruit is very important to stay up on, because especially with bananas, because they're incredibly filling. But potassium also helps you with your focus.
Great.
And then I'm all about, like I said before, protein at lunch and dinner, paleo in the PM again, but
Paleo in the PM.
Clean protein is why I literally stress clean protein. I eat a lot of vegetables, probably more than almost any human I know. I have 2 vegetable drawers in my kitchen that I built in here because I couldn't store all of my produce in my refrigerator.
She literally does. There are 2 humongous drawers, and she pulled them open for me, and they're chock full of vegetables.
It's crazy.
And we're up high in a high-rise right now, and there's no garden here, so she is like going to the grocery store every day.
It's true, and that's the funny thing. Instacart.com saved my life. I get my groceries delivered. I don't even have time anymore to go to the store. But I don't like hormones, antibiotics, preservatives, things added into meat. But these are pre-grilled chicken strips.
Okay.
So you don't
have to cook them.
To cook your own stuff, which is so great. And then deli meat is something that people are always like, oh, salami's bad for me. When it's uncured and doesn't have any additives in it, and it's lowest in sodium of the salami I've ever seen on the market, and I'm obsessed with salami.
So uncured Genoa is the best. Okay.
And you just want to stay away from things that have a lot of preservatives, because if you're doing quick prep, usually quick foods aren't always the best for you. So I do talk about that with my clients a lot, about the quick prep and the tricks. And I mean, I even have my slow cooker that literally yesterday I put 2 whole recipes in my slow cooker. I'm set till Saturday.
Any apps that you use to keep on track with your day, either from task orientation or with food or with fitness?
I'm obsessed with my notes on my iPhone.
It's a very simple app.
Because it is not, and it's not even like, it comes with your phone. But you Wi-Fi sync it up to your computer, and I do the to-do list where you can check off, but then I also go into the notes, and I actually write like a journal during the day. Like I remind myself, like Ashley, you did this, Ashley, you did that. Food journals and food apps are great, but sometimes I find that people don't even go into them. And so for me, I just tell my clients, I'm like, write yourself, just like, it's like writing yourself an email that you keep open all day and add to it. Okay. But as far as apps for like nutrition and things, I do love Seafood Watch. There's a big thing.
Seafood Watch, like spell it.
Seafood, SEAFOOD, Watch, WATCH. And it's an app that tells you the seafood that's in season, where to buy from. So like if you're looking for wild salmon, it'll say this wild salmon was fished from here, and this is the danger level of it, and it's either green, yellow, red. Well, I think with a lot of people, it's so confusing when you think about buying seafood or about buying meat. What's the difference between organic and things like that? So there is that app, Seafood Watch, which I think really helps me, and also in a restaurant. Because I'll ask someone like, okay, well, where did your halibut come from? Is this
you're
the
that
season?
order.
I'm that order sometimes. Sometimes I'm not. Again, balance, because sometimes I'm not even thinking about that when I get to my meal. I just want to eat and enjoy myself. Awesome. But no, I think that's one of my favorite apps. And then also, if you're looking for things, there are apps out there. I have my online community, AP Living, is going to be launching in early October. And it's going to have daily workouts, weekly menus, recipes, and grocery lists. Even your grocery lists are on there. And then an archive of educational documents about eating out. Even if you're like at a sushi restaurant, I explain to you how best to order and healthfully order sushi. Things like that. I talk about the plate method in more detail, hydration, all those things, and my favorite apps. But that is an affordable way to get access to exercise and nutrition all the time. But I also do drop things like, hey, if you can't work out with me today, go on, Nike has an app where you can work out with Nike.
The Nike app, okay.
Yeah, but I really just...
There's an app that I actually really love. It's the 7-minute workout, and it's literally 7 minutes, and it's crazy good.
Yeah.
And so anyone can, you have 7 minutes, I know you do. So
there's no excuse.
That's just a tip that I have as far as an app, but...
No, for sure, and I think the same thing goes for, like, again, fitness and nutrition is so personal. There may be an app that you like that I, don't have great experience with, so it's whatever works for you and keeps you feeling like it's actually helping. I think a lot of apps actually frustrate people more because they have 10 different apps and not all one place to have things set. So again, problem solution. That's why I outside of Concierge had to do this membership site because it's solving that problem.
So where can people find you?
AshleyPettitLiving.com. And my Facebook is Ashley Pettit Living LLC, Instagram, Ashley Pettit Living, basically everywhere.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you so much for having us. Next week, Brandless Group is hosting Venture Forward for Women in Diversity conference here in Chicago. Check out ventureforwardfwd.io for tickets. We're going to be shooting live for Entrepreneur there as well. And I'm Jess Loren, and thank you so much. Thank you for having us in your kitchen.
Thank you for coming.